Hello, this is Nicole Whitlock with eCom Sellers Academy. And tonight we're talking about time management. As part of that whole time management discussion, we're going to talk about some habits that will help you to do a better job of managing your time. So I will tell you, as a seller, time management is one of the biggest issues I think that all of us have. I think it's a bigger issue than sourcing. I think it's a bigger issue than listing. I think it's a bigger issue than shipping, because when we don't kind of get control of our time, we don't do a good job of our time, we'll make up 9,000 excuses as to why we can't whatever. Oh, I ran out of time. I was too tired. I didn't want to list, blah, blah, blah. There's always a reason why we're not getting stuff done. Oh, well, I wanted to see that show. Oh, I had to run to the store, or I scheduled a doctor's appointment at that time. And so if we don't figure out how to kind of get control of our time, and one of the things that will help us get control of our time is building the habits. And the habits, the way we get to habits is we build a schedule. That schedule will build the consistency, and the consistency will build the habits. You have to get into a routine where it's like on autopilot. An example of being on autopilot is when you wake up in the morning. Different people have different morning routines. Some people get up, they meditate. Some people get up, they read the Bible. In our house, we get up and we rush like crazy people to make sure that my son can get on the bus. Get on the bus to go to school. So, we prepped the night before, got the lunches together, got the school clothes together. But whatever reason, our morning routine is like something out of a Benny Hill show. Like all we need is the music. And if you can just Google Benny Hill if I'm aging myself. So having better time management, making sure that you're trying to do what you can to get the things done in your business that are going to help you be profitable, but also get the things done in your life so that you can document what those things are that are the most important that you need to make time for every week. So we're going to talk about some habits, and then we're going to get into some time management. We're going to talk about some tools. So as part of this time management discussion, there's always an opportunity to remind people that on this journey of e-commerce, you are the boss. You make all the decisions. You own the business. You run the business. You make the decisions in the business. And you're supposed to keep track of everything as the boss. So I saw a quote the other day that said that you are the weight that you are because of decisions you made. That is true. You have the money that you have, or lack of, because of the decisions that you made. That's true. You are in the job that you're in because of the decisions that you made. That is true. You are in the marriage or the relationship that you're in because of the decisions that you made. That is true. We are where we are on this journey in life because of all these decisions that we made, good, bad, or indifferent. We are where we are. And so sometimes we like to blame other people for why our business is not successful. We like to blame other people as to why, we are the weight that we are, why we don't have the money that we don't have because of our situation. Look, there are sometimes extenuating circumstances to a person's life that can contribute to where they are and that are sometimes completely outside of their control. But there are things within our own lives that we can control, and we don't do a good job of it. We don't do a good job of it because excuses are far more comfortable. We don't do a good job of it because we're used to whatever we're used to. We have a routine, we've built a habit. And so, when you're trying to break a routine, something you do over and over again unconsciously, if one of the things that you do is you spend a lot of time on social media, or you hang out on YouTube, or you sit down and you watch veg out on Netflix, or you get on the phone and you gossip with your girlfriends. Okay, those are all activities, and I always have to ask myself, is this activity making me money? Yes or no? Because when it comes to my e-commerce business, I also look at some of those activities and go, how is this activity helping my kids? Because I have two special needs kids. And so if this activity is not contributing positively to our house in any kind of way, and I understand sometimes we all need a brain break, and I do take brain breaks, but if it's not contributing positively to our lives in any kind of way, contributing positively to the things that matter, our families, the family relationship, our finances, our health, our relationship with the Lord, if it's not contributing positively to any of those, then we probably need to stop doing it if we're trying to change the direction that we want our lives to go in. So trying to gain control of the time that we waste, because there is a reason why they call time the present. It is. It is a gift. You can't get back time. And boy, did that ever become more evident to me when I was sitting in the hospital with COVID in a room by myself for 3 days with no TV on. I was in the hospital longer than 3 days, but it took me a while just to get to the place where I could do anything and be able to function. And I kind of look back on life and go, oh my gosh, how much time have I wasted? So we're going to go down this journey of talking about how much time do you think you're really wasting? How much time have you wasted in your life? Is there still time to make the changes that you want to make in your business and your life and your health and your relationships and your job, whatever it happens to be? And I believe that as long as you are above ground and breathing in and out every morning when you wake up, you still got time. You still got time to turn the ship. The turning of the ship is not going to be the easiest thing in the world, but you still got time. So when it comes to your business, you have to embrace the fact that you are where you are in your business because of the decisions that you made, good, bad, or indifferent, situations completely outside of your control. Some of it may have been in your control and some of it may have been not been in your control. And so either you're going to recognize where you are and make some different choices and build new habits around what you're doing, or you're going to say, okay, I don't want to do this anymore and I'm going to move on to something else. And you have to make that decision on your own. So when it comes to your business, remember, you are still the boss. You are. And you can decide to fold that business anytime you're ready, if that's what you want to do. But I want you to think about whether or not you feel like you're quitting, you're giving up, or you just feel like, oh, this is too hard. Because again, when you're trying to make changes, trust me, Murphy's Law, everything will become 10 times more difficult. When you're trying to turn the front of a big giant ship, it is 10 times harder to turn that ship or to try and get it to go straight again if you've got it in a turn, because of the fact that it is so big and so heavy. So trying to change something you've been doing for so long is so big and so heavy, it is hard to turn. It's hard to straighten it out. It's hard to do all those things. It's whether or not you have the endurance, the perseverance, the desire to make the changes you need to get there. The other thing, oh my gosh, that's 2020. What's your why? So I recently did a training on Shopify, and I asked the question, like, what is your why? Why do you do this? Why are you even interested in doing something with your business? But outside of just talking about your business, because this is a bigger conversation, why are you doing e-commerce? Why do you want to make money in e-commerce? Or is this just a hobby? Is this something that you do just to kill the time? Are you trying to make more money? But there has to be something beyond the money. So what happens when you make more money? Are you going to quit the job? Do you hate your job? Are you going to go start doing the things that you've always loved and wanted to do? Is it that you never wanted to report to anybody? Is it that you wanted more time freedom? Is it that you plan on spending more time with your family? Is it that you want to travel the world? Is it that you wanted to do mission work? What is your why? What is your why? Because if it's just money, that's not enough. It's not. There has to be something bigger than just money to make you do what you do in your business. And it has to be something bigger than just money, just in general. Just in general, in your life. What do you want to accomplish? Where do you want to be? Where do you see yourself in 3 years or 5 years or 8 years or 10 years? If the Lord blesses us all to make it that long, what is it that you want to have accomplished? What do you want to see different in your business from last year or this year to next year? What do you want to see different from next year to the following year? What is it that you want to happen? And if you can't see what it is, then you probably need to stop for just a second and kind of write that down as a question and ponder the thought. Like, if you couldn't do e-commerce anymore, would you go do something else? Are you a shiny object syndrome chaser? Are you always chasing the shiny object? Oh, that person over there is making some money with crypto. Oh, this person's making money with stocks. Oh, this person's making money in this network marketing business. Oh, I heard about affiliate marketing. Oh, wait a minute. I heard about this other thing. What is it? Are you staying the course and you're going to persevere? There are so many amazing stories of entrepreneurs on a long journey and everything that they've gone through just to get to where they ultimately wanted to be. And even then, they got to the place where they enjoyed it so much, they continue to work the crazy hours that they do. Elon Musk is one of those that they did an article on him, I think it was last month, the month before, where he was talking about that. But the question again remains, what is your why? Why do you do what you do? Why do you do? And I would ask that question of anything, not just your e-commerce business. If there's something that is challenging to you in your personal life, whether it be a relationship, whether it be your job, whether it be your spiritual journey, you know, what is your why? Why do you want this thing? Why do you feel like you need this thing? Why do you even care about this thing? Whatever it is. So my why is my kids all the time, because I know I am not going to be here forever. And I want to make sure that there is something that I have built that is left that will give them some money outside of my life insurance and my home. What am I going to leave them with? I also do it because I want my kids to know an alternate way of making money because they do have a disability. And e-commerce is a simple business. It is. It is simple. It is a matter of sourcing products, putting them on a platform, shipping them to the customer or shipping them to a fulfillment center, one or the other. When they buy it, collecting the money, reconciling the books, paying the taxes. It's pretty much the 5 steps of e-commerce. Now, are there some extra things that you need to do from time to time? Absolutely. Is there more to just sourcing? Yeah. But could my kids list a whole bunch of stuff and make money? Could I teach them how to do print on demand and they could make money? So then that way they didn't have to worry about, you know, whatever happens with the government, whatever changes are made, that they have the ability, as long as they have an internet connection and an electronic device, they can figure out how to make some money. And I would say indirectly out of thin air, because you don't have to have the physical products these days. So, I mean, it's been that way for a long time, but the point is, they're my why. I do this to keep the lights on and keep water coming out of my faucet. I do it because I need them to know how to make money. Do I feel bad about the time that I steal from them? I feel like it's stealing. To work on e-commerce? Yeah, I do sometimes. But I also know that I do teach them some skills. So my job is to get better at teaching them more skills so that way I can balance the two. So I have a balance challenge. But outside of that, they're my why. They're the main reasons why I do this. And there are aspects of e-commerce that I do like. There's also aspects of training. But why did you get into e-commerce? Why do you like it? And if it's for the money, there has to be something bigger, because you'll quit as soon as you find another shiny object that has better money. Somebody told you can make $1 million from lint balls, you would go do that. Trust me. So some of the habits of successful sellers that I think we get lost on this journey on e-commerce is that sellers that are successful, when you look at those 7 and 8 figure sellers, and let me just say, there's some successful 6-figure sellers. There's nothing to balk at. Yeah. I don't know what Nicholas came in here. Oh, I don't need that. Nicholas, don't turn that one on. No. I don't, no. No, you can turn on this one. I think he's tired. Daylight savings time has got him all messed up. Okay, so turn this off for him. Okay, so they're committed. Those sellers that are successful, do they diversify? The answer is yes, but they master one platform first, or they master one method of e-commerce first before they take on another. So they're committed. And this, again, these things that I talk about, like the majority of them, you can apply to any part of your life. It doesn't necessarily have to be e-commerce. You can apply it to your relationships. You can apply it to your health. You can apply it to your finances. You have to be committed to whatever it is that you're wanting to do. You have to be 100% committed, and you can't make excuses as to why you can't do the things that you have time to do. If you got time to be on the phone, sitting there with your girlfriends or your boyfriends and just talking for hours, 5 hours, 3 hours, 2 hours, that's 2 hours of non-productivity in your business, or that's 2 hours of non-productivity in what it is that you're trying to change in your life. Whatever you're trying to change, it's going to require your focus, time, and energy. So they're committed to their business. And the question becomes, are you committed? Have you set aside dedicated time to actually focus on, work on, think about this thing? Same thing that they're focused. They are not chasing every shiny object, because there's a lot of shiny objects out there. So they're focused on this. They think about it when they get up, they think about it when they go to bed, because this is where I want to go. Again, big entrepreneurs, that's the story. I'm still learning the story, or was reviewing the story of the guy who created Netflix. Like, his story is interesting. Jeff Bezos, Amazon, his story is interesting. Same thing with Microsoft, Steve Jobs, and all the others that are out there. They are interesting stories of entrepreneurs. Am I saying that we're going to be the next Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, Jeff Bezos? Probably not. But some of you could come up with a product that gets bought out by some big company, and maybe at an instant, your dreams, your vision becomes reality. But the only way that's going to happen is you got to get focused in your business. You got to be consistent. If you are random about your business, you will get random results. If you are trying to figure out why you only got paid $2 this week in your e-commerce business, the question becomes, how much time did you commit to your business? If you didn't commit a bunch of time to your business, don't be hollering about the $2. That's $2 more that you didn't have before. So you have to get committed and be consistent in your business. You have to consistently work. And the way that you get consistent is building a schedule. You got to get organized. Now, I will tell you, my desk is a hot organization, but you do have to get organized in what it is that you plan on doing, you need to do, where you want to go with your business. You got to get organized. You got to get organized in your finances of your business operations. You got to get organized in your reconciliation. You got to get organized. Sometimes it takes a little bit as you're on that organization journey. It takes you a little bit to get there because there's so many other things happening. But it is entirely possible to get organized in your business. Okay, so successful sellers are planners. I am a planner. I am always a planner. So I'm going to say this. I've said this many times before. There's a reason why Walmart, Target, like, when do you think they order the stuff that they order to go in the stores? Do you think they order it, 4 months before it actually arrives in the store? Or do you think that they have placed their orders 18 to 24 months in advance? It's no coincidence that the stuff that we see in the stores are in the stores at the time that it's in the store. There is a cycle, there is a routine, there is a process to get products into stores. There are sometimes the products, if it goes viral, it will be in the store much quicker than the normal cycle. But again, there's no surprise when all of the stuff for Christmas is ordered. They already know all of the stuff about what's the upcoming movies so that they know what toys are being produced, so that they know which toys will be on the shelves that they need to go ahead and order. They know that stuff at least 2 years in advance, 18 to 24 months in advance. They know when movies are being released. They know when big events are coming up. They have a calendar so that they can plan when shipments will arrive in stores, when they can order that inventory. You as a seller need to think like Walmart. You need to think like Target. You need to think like Dollar Tree. You need to be ordering your inventory in advance so that it arrives in the time that you need to be able to make the money. Because when they're making money, you could be making money. They are students. They are always learning. They're working on learning and getting better at what they do. So they invest in themselves. Investing in yourself is a good thing. They are intentional with their time, money, and resources. I cannot stress that enough. They're not wasting time. They're efficient about their time. They do multitask sometimes, but sometimes there is dedicated focused time where they're like, I'm only going to focus on this one thing for 1 hour or 2 hours or 30 minutes or 15 minutes. I'm going to focus on this one thing and that's it. They're intentional about their money. They make investments in things that are going to help them to be more efficient, to be more productive, to be able to get more work done. And they are intentional about their resources. So they do what they can to make sure that they use their resources in the best way possible. Whatever those resources are, whether it's a VA, whether it is a tool, whether it is other things, they use those resources wisely, like shipping boxes. Shipping boxes are a resource. It is something that you need if you're going to be shipping inventory. So they're not shipping a little bottle of fingernail polish in a giant box. They're intentional. They're like, okay, let's be efficient. Let's be effective. Let's be cost effective. Let's do that. And they form all this by building real work schedules. So real work schedules matter. Real work schedules impact how productive you are in your life. So when you build a real work schedule, the reason that you do it is so that you can be successful, so you can be consistent, and so you can build the habits in your business that you want it to grow. So going back to the question I asked before, why are you in this business? What is it that you want from this business? What are you trying to accomplish? What do you need? What is it that you're trying to get out of this business? That's the thing. And if you didn't answer that question, then, you may not appreciate that building a real work schedule will help you to be successful. It will definitely help you to be consistent, because then you can look at the schedule and you can check off that, okay, during this time I'm supposed to do this, and during this time I'm supposed to do this, and during this time I'm supposed to do this. I am a big time block person. I believe in blocking time. I also believe in noting at the beginning of the day, maybe the 1, 2, or 3 primary things. If nothing else happens, if my son has a seizure, if I have a flat tire, again, my son having a seizure is out of my control. Can't control all of that. The best I can do is make sure I give him a good diet, make sure he's hydrated, make sure he gets his meds. If anything else happens outside of that, I can't control that. So I can't get mad when things happen. I can't get mad about that. The other thing is, okay, so if I get a flat tire, again, I can't control it. So my goal is to look at that at the beginning of the day and say, okay, if I can't follow this schedule today, what are the 1, 2, or 3 things that I need to make sure I get done no matter what? No matter what, I need to get these things done. And it can be just one thing. Maybe it's not multiple things, maybe it is just one thing. Okay. So when you are working on a schedule, before you get started on that schedule, you need to think about when it comes to whatever it is you're trying to accomplish, and we're going to talk about your business. What is stopping you from doing the work that you know will make you money? What's in your way? What's your distraction? So what is stopping you? Is it you? Is it maybe your family? Maybe is it that you don't have enough like money? What is it that is stopping you? Is it that you don't have enough time? Like if you really get off work at 6 o'clock at night, you come home, you fix dinner for your kids, and so that goes until 7:30. You get the kids to get the bath and you get them into bed by 8:30. And then you have to turn around and get up at 6 o'clock in the morning. So you only have from 9 o'clock until 11 o'clock to do what you need to do. Time is your problem, and it is what it is. So you need to make a note that that's the problem that we got to solve. We got to solve the time problem. What's in your way? Is it that you have too many things on your schedule with your kids' activities? Or do you have too many things on your schedule with your husband? Or is it that you just come home and you've gotten into a rut where you sit down, you turn on the TV and you veg out in front of the TV? You're just not disciplined enough. You're not focused enough. Is that your challenge? What's distracting you? What is distracting you? Again, do you get sucked into the vortex of social media and the internet? And then you can't pull yourself out of that? Write those things down, because your goal this week is to find one solution. You don't have to have 5 solutions, just one solution to each one of those questions. So what is stopping you? And just find in your mind, just write down, even if it's not something you can accomplish tomorrow, and it's not something you can maybe accomplish next month, but it is something that you can eventually work towards to solve that problem. So what is stopping you? Write down one thing that is stopping you. Sorry, write down everything that's stopping you, first of all, and then write down one potential solution, just one. Write down everything that's stopping you and write down one potential solution. What's getting in your way? Again, write down all the things that you feel like are getting in your way from being successful in your business. And if you want to take this even further and not just focus on your business, what do you feel like is getting in your way when it comes to your health? What do you feel like is getting in the way when it comes to your finances? What do you feel like is getting in the way regarding your relationships? What's getting in the way regarding your job or your spiritual journey? What is getting in your way? Write it down, whichever one you want to focus on, and then write down one potential solution, just one. It may not ultimately be the solution, but we are just getting the brain juices going. And then what distracts you? Write down what is distracting you. What's your distraction? If it's your kids, just be 100. My kids are definitely a distraction. They are. I'm not going to lie about it. I love them. But I'm not going to lie about the fact that they are a distraction. I love my kids so much. So write it down so that you know what it is that is distracting you. And then write down one potential solution. Okay, hold on. I have to blow my nose for just a second. I apologize. Okay. The next thing is, how many hours, activity number 2, how many hours could you commit to your business in a week? Now, there's 2 parts to this. Write down right now, today, how many hours have you committed to your business today? And then being honest with yourself, looking at your life in general, how many hours could you commit to your business? So if you're saying right now, I have not committed any hours to my business at all. And so I could really commit at least 2 hours, or I could really commit at least 4 hours, whatever it happens to be. You can commit some time. So write down what you could commit if you stopped wasting time. Also, how many hours in a week could you commit? And then how many hours in a day could you commit? So the first one was a week. How many hours in a week do you currently commit to your business? And how many hours could you commit? And then how many hours in a day could you commit to your business? And how many hours could you commit? And again, if you're not going to talk about the business, if you feel like the bigger thing that you should focus on is your health, or if you feel like the bigger thing you should focus on is your relationships or your finances or whatever it is, breaking this down, you're still going to have to commit some time. So if we were to talk about weight loss, how many hours in a week are you committing to your improving your health, improving, to weight loss? How many hours are you committing, and how many hours could you commit? Same thing in a day, and it doesn't necessarily have to be hours. Like, okay, all I can do is 15 minutes, or all I can do is 30 minutes. That's fine. There's a lot of stuff that gets done 15 minutes at a time. There's a lot of stuff that gets done. And then when is the most productive time of day for you? When is the most productive time of day for you? So for some people, they find that the most productive time of day is first thing in the morning. And for others, they're not really sure. They're like, I don't know. So I want you, if you're not really sure when your most productive time of the day is, I want you to think about when do you get the most things done? Do you get the most things done after lunch? Do you get the most things done right before bed? When you have this burst of energy and you can get a lot of stuff done in like a short period of time, an hour or at 2 hours or 30 minutes. When you get the most things done, do you get the most things done first thing in the morning? I feel like I get the most things done first thing in the morning. So an example would be if you asked me to create 10 listings manually, would I be able to create 10 listings manually in the morning? Or would I be able to do it late in the evening or in the afternoon? I can tell you in the afternoon, if you were timing me, I could probably knock out 10 listings in an hour, first thing in the morning. It would take me probably 2 hours, maybe 3, if you asked me to do it, if I did it at night. So again, when is the most productive time of day for you? When is the time in which you get a lot of stuff done, or you could get a lot of stuff? Your energy's high, your focus is high, you're ready to rock and roll. Is it right after exercising? For some people, they get this adrenaline rush and they get a whole bunch of stuff done right after going to go work out. Is it after taking a power nap in the afternoon? Is it after eating lunch or drinking a cup of coffee? So make a note of that, because that's when, whenever possible, we want to do the majority of our work in our business or whatever it is that we want to work on. So some of the tools that I use to try and manage my time, I always have a kitchen timer on my desk, and I say that, and now at this very second, I can't find my kitchen timer. Oh, there it is. So kitchen timer, hear that? Kitchen timer. And I normally set it when I'm having a crazy day. I set it for 15 minutes at a time. When I'm having a better day, I set it for 30 or 25 minutes at a time. Because I know if I have to do transitions, like my son is going to interrupt me, I need to maybe set it for 15 minutes and then go check on him. And then set it for another 15 minutes and go check on him. So that way I am not, totally 100% distracted. It also gives him a kind of heads up. Oh, I better start working again. So that way when I walk in there, he's always working. If I do 25 minutes, the reason why I do 25 over 30 is because, again, 25 minutes of focused time, and then I can get up, go check on my kids, go to the restroom, get another cup of water, and sit down and get ready to work again, or get a snack and come back. So I get sort of a little mini brain break. And so I do 25 minutes or 27 minutes at a time. And so that's what I set the timer for. So I like using a timer. I like having a timer on my desk. I have multiple timers. Probably have about 10 timers in the house somewhere, of which Nicholas takes, he's probably got about 6 of them. So I have to hide the other 4. I use my phone. I set alarms on my phone so I can try to gain control of my time. So if I know that I'm going to be working intently, I have alarms when I'm meeting with whoever I'm meeting with. If I have a meeting with any of the VAs that are working on my business, I set alarms to be able to do that. If I have training, I set alarms. Now, I'm not saying that I'm the most functional person in the world. I'm not. Because sometimes stuff happens and I got to go deal with my kids and then make sure everybody's quiet so I can come and do whatever it is I got to do. But I do set timers so that I can at least get the things done that I need to get done. My goal for this year, because my son Tony reminded me, is to be more punctual for things. So that's one of my goals for the rest of this year and beginning of next year, is to be far more punctual. Okay. The other thing that I do is, depending on what it is I'm needing to do, I will go to YouTube, pull up the focus concentration videos, and I will use the focus and concentration videos to do work. So I will maybe pick a 1 hour focus and concentration. So if I need to get something done for 1 hour, I will play that music, and it's like focus study music, concentration music. You can just check it on YouTube and you can find that. So those are things that I do. And if I need to not be interrupted, I'll put a little sign on the door and tell my kids not to interrupt me. I will make sure I've given them something to do for an hour. For my son, I might put on a movie that I know is at least 2 hours long. That will keep him partially distracted. Make sure he has some snacks, make sure he has some juice, make sure he's not too far from the door so I can at least check on him if I need to. So in that way, if I need a block of time to get stuff done, I've given him something to do to keep him distracted so that I don't run into problems. Same thing with my other son. I will make sure that we have a block of time in which, he's doing what he needs to do so that I can get done what I need to get done. So again, it's all part of the process. Okay. So when you're building a schedule for your business specifically, and again, figure out what you want to focus on. If right now, focusing on your business and you don't feel it's the priority, if you feel like your health or your finances or something else is more important, then use this time to focus on the thing that you feel is going to make the biggest impact and change your life the most. Okay? If your goal is to improve the operations of your business, then set time blocks in order to focus on your business. If you feel like the most important thing right now is to focus on your health, then use those time blocks to focus on your health or your relationship or your finances or whatever you feel like is the biggest priority in your business. You can have short-term goals and you can have big long-term goals. So maybe a short-term goal is to resolve some issues that you have with your finances. Maybe you still got to get taxes done. My hand's raised. Maybe you have something else you need to get done. So maybe it's like a little 2-month stint where you're focused on something else and you're giving a lot of your available time to that thing, knowing that it's only temporary, and then you're going to come back and redirect that time, take that time block and use it for something else. So figure that out so that you can, again, make the most of your time. So the majority of your time, if you're talking about your e-commerce business, should be focused on income producing or income generating activities. That's where your time needs to be. Doesn't need to be like product research is a big thing, but you can't make money on things you haven't listed. So allot some time for product research, but also make sure that you have time allotted for listing, because that is your income producing activity. So you should always have a time block for learning. Maybe that time block is once a month. You're going to allot, 5 hours for learning or 3 hours for learning, but it's not the majority of the time. Maybe it's 1 hour and you're just watching one video a month. That's it. I'm going to keep running my business. I'm going to watch one video a month. Maybe it's an audio file where you can listen to it while you work, That's always possible. I am one of those people that can do that. My business partner cannot have a bunch of stuff playing in the background while she's working. I'm like, I am the worst person when I have to play Missy Elliott in the background, and she's like, I am trying to focus. Time for research. So make sure that you do allot some time for researching and sourcing. But again, people cannot buy what they cannot find. If it hasn't been listed, then that's a problem. So make sure that you have time on your calendar for listing activities, and make sure you have time on your calendar for shipping related activities. Shipping should be on here. So shipping and listing are your two biggest and most important activities. Even if you're not shipping yourself, if you're using a fulfillment service, you should always be checking to make sure that the fulfillment service is done or is doing what they are supposed to be doing, so that you can account for what it is you're paying them to do. If you are doing fulfillment, like sending it into Amazon, again, you're going to have to do some prepping, and you're going to have to allot some time for your prepping and allot some time to create your shipment to go into Amazon. So an example might be, if you're outsourcing, let's say you're doing retail arbitrage, if you're outsourcing for 8 hours, when you come back, allot at least 3 hours, if not 4, for shipping. Okay. If you're doing wholesale and you get the inventory in, or maybe you send it to a fulfillment center, again, getting the inventory in, getting it listed, and then making sure that it's where it needs to be, so that when people buy it, you can get it fulfilled. Or maybe you're working with drop shipping. So again, listing inventory, confirming that the inventory is available, and then confirming the process for getting it fulfilled to your customers. Whatever your method is, whatever it is. Product research is important, and I like to try and do my product research in bulk. I don't try to do my product research, at the beginning of each day. Now you could, depends on your e-commerce method. If I'm doing print on demand, you might allot at least an hour every day to do research on keywords, what people want, what people are interested in, what people are searching for, and then an hour on creating listings or creating the design. So working in your business, on your print on demand business, 2 hours every single day, or 2.5 hours every single day, creating the image and then putting it on the platforms. So you need to have time blocks for the things that you're going to be doing in your business. And it needs to be a realistic schedule based on what you wrote down over here. How many hours could you actually commit to your business? So if you say you can commit 10 hours to your business, when you build a schedule, you should have 10 hours of accountability there every single week. If you say you're going to work in your business for 20 hours, you should have 20 hours of accountability in that schedule that you build. Now, if you want to, build it for 18 hours, just so you have a buffer, or 17 hours, just so you have a buffer. If you say you have 20 available, that's fine too. If you don't want to run a super tight schedule, that's fine. But don't say, okay, I can work 20 hours in my business, and then you built a schedule that only has 5 hours of productivity in it. What are you doing with the other 15? What are you doing with the other 15? So we are going to build a schedule. I am going to find a calendar. Let me just stop sharing my screen for just a second. I'm going to pause, stop sharing, and I need to find a calendar that I don't have anything on. Because I am a multi-colored calendar kind of chick. Let me find a calendar I don't have anything. Well, that one has stuff on it. Let me just a second. All right, I think I found a calendar. All right. So I'm sharing my screen again. So I'm going to go Google, because Google is my friend. And I like Google for creating calendars. There's many other tools out there. I also, like I said, set alarms on my phone. You heard an alarm just a second ago. And that is my alarm to go track down my kids and make sure they're getting ready for bedtime. Start the bedtime routine is what that alarm says. So since that alarm says start the bedtime routine, that is exactly, what we're going to get ready to do. So I normally would be yelling at my kids right about now. Tony, Nicholas, what are you doing? Go take a shower, get your stuff together, blah, blah, blah. That's what I would be doing right now. So what I've done is I created within my own Google Calendar. You can see I created multiple calendars. I'm the vice president of a nonprofit, so I got a calendar for that, especially needed. I've got a calendar for some of the businesses. I've got a calendar around my productivity. I've got a calendar for other stuff that I do for when people come to my house, when I'm working on my other businesses. So I have a lot of calendars. The way that, but most of us just have our basic, if you create a Gmail account, you just have your basic calendar that's up here. And so you can just, build something onto that calendar. Just get to where we are right now. You can just click anywhere and then type some stuff and then save it. And that's on your calendar. That's an old notice. So I guess I'll move this to some other date. I'll move it to the 12th. Okay. So then it's a different color. Okay. So I like calendars. I use them a lot. The way you create a new calendar is you come down here to this plus and it says add other calendars. I click on it. And once I click on add other calendar, I click on create new calendar. I give it a name. I give my calendar a name. E-commerce business, if that's what you want to call it, whatever you want to call it. Once you create it, once you name it, you click on create. And now it says calendar creation in progress. And then you click on the arrow to go backwards in settings. And if I come over here, I now have a calendar that's called e-commerce business. Now, I don't need that calendar, so I'm going to delete it, but I'm going to delete it because I don't have enough calendars. I'll be all confused about why I created this extra calendar, but I'm only doing it for this exercise. So you have your calendar once you created it. And then the next thing that you would do is you would figure out when are you able to work in your business. So maybe you are a person and you work a full-time job, and maybe you're a nurse and you work do PRN. So you're 3 days on, 3.5 days on, and 2.5 days off, or whatever that looks like for you. Maybe you're a firefighter. Maybe, you work in the office and you work 8 to 5. So if you work in the office, you got a whole morning routine that you're doing, probably starting around 6 or 7 in the morning, and you have an evening routine when you get home. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to build a calendar, and I'm just going to put some stuff on here. I'm going to start on this day. Okay. So whatever your morning routine looks like. So I'm going to just click in a box, and this dialog box comes up. I always click on more options. I type what it is, and I click on more options. The reason I do that is so that I can change the times. So maybe that's 6:30 until 7:30, you do your morning routine, or 6 o'clock until whenever. I choose a color for this activity that I'm about to do. I also set up reminders. Maybe I have a little reminder that reminds me 10 minutes before. It pops up on my phone. If you have a watch phone, that works great too. And then I also click on the repeat, does not repeat. And I change it to custom. And I will say, this is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And this is something that happens every week, and it never ends. And so I click OK or done. And I click save. And what's going to happen is now I have this block that's on my calendar. Up here, you can change your calendar view from weekly to daily or monthly. And you can move your calendar forward by choosing these arrows to go backwards and forwards if you're not, if you're a novice with Google Calendar. So then the next thing is I got to go to work. So I know my commute time is like 30 minutes. And then I'm at work for 8 hours. And then my commute time is another 30 minutes on the way home, or 45, whatever. So from 7:30, get to work. I work 8 to 5, and I might make it home by 6, which is crazy. That's a long day, y'all. Like, that's including commute time. So I can change this so that I know this is when I am working my job. Give it a color. Let's go with gray because that's drab. And we're going to click on does not repeat, choose custom, and we'll do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It says it never ends. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and save. Now I have my morning routine, my work schedule, and that includes commute time. So then maybe you have kiddos and you got to do an evening routine. So let's do evening routine. And I'm going to choose, my evening routine goes from 6 until 9. That includes dinner. That includes all the stuff that you do. That one does not repeat. And then I choose custom. This is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Done. I'll change this. Actually, I'll leave the routines the same color. So morning routine and evening routine are the same color. So that means that I have, I'm getting up at 6:30. Maybe I have from 9 until 11 to work in my business. Now I got something I can put here because I'm working a job. So I can work in my business from 9 until 11, which was the example I gave before. So at 9 o'clock, 10, I got 2 hours, Monday through Friday, and then I probably have some time on Saturday. So let's start with the first thing that's the most income producing. Maybe you're doing online arbitrage, or maybe you're doing some retail arbitrage on your way home. I don't know. If you're doing some retail arbitrage on your way home, that's great. So I'm going to put down that I am doing some sourcing. Some research and sourcing. And of the time that I have available to me, it's supposed to be 9 o'clock, I'm at least going to put down the sourcing and research. I'm going to give myself at least 30 minutes every single day to do some level of sourcing and research. You could do 45. Because I only got 2 hours. Remember, I only got 2 hours. Okay. So then I'm going to list. So if I'm doing 30 minutes of sourcing and research, I'm going to list. I'm going to list for at least 45 minutes. Okay. I don't know what the other color was that I gave. I think it was this one. So listing is an income producing activity, maybe as a motivation. When it pops up on my phone, I might put some dollar signs up there so that when it pops up, I'm like, oh yeah, this is money making time. This is extra money making time. The job pays you, but this is extra money making time. Okay. So I am going to list for 45 minutes. Okay. So I have given these different colors so that there is a mental connection to what it is I'm about to do. Like I gave work gray because that's drab and boring, and maybe I hate my job. If you love your job, then give it another color. If your job frustrates the heck out of you, maybe make it red. Whatever color you want. You can choose whatever color you want. And I did morning routine and evening routine. So I know, again, that I only have until 9 p.m. So I have research and sourcing, maybe online arbitrage, and it could be on my lunch hour up here, I'm doing some more research and sourcing. So let's put that in there. Oops. Let's do some research and sourcing in the middle of the day. Let's do 30 minutes while we're at work. Okay, so we're going to do some research and sourcing, and we'll do 30 minutes, and we'll put that as green, and we're going to do that Monday through Friday while we're at this job that we absolutely positively love. Okay, we're going to save. So now I'm doing research and sourcing while I'm at work, and I'm doing research and sourcing at night, and I'm in the wrong color. Sorry, didn't notice that. Changing my color. So once I hit save, it's going to ask me if I want to change it for all of them. I'm going to change it for all of them. And I'm actually going to change this to start. On the 10th. There we go. All right. This one and all following events. Now it looks right. So now I have the sourcing, research and sourcing, and I'm doing at least an hour's worth of research and sourcing. What you could do is you could, all the research that you do, the things that you find, you put it on a Google Drive. So when you get home, all you have to do is open up that Google Drive document and keep adding to it so that you can spend another 30 minutes on research and sourcing. Then you create listings on whatever platforms. Maybe you're using a listing tool. Maybe you're doing using a product research tool. Maybe you're using a cross listing tool. Whatever it happens to be, it's a listing activity. Whatever product research you're doing, if you're using a tool, again, it's a research activity, research and sourcing. Okay, so then the next thing is maybe I had some sales and I have to do merchant fulfilled, or maybe I am, checking in with a fulfillment center, or maybe I'm checking in on my drop shipping orders, whatever it happens to be, or I'm prepping a shipment to go into Amazon. I don't know. So I know that I have some form of shipping or prepping related activity. Because if inventory is coming to me, I got to prep it. And I'm going to put prep in parentheses. But I'm also going to put a $sign here because, again, shipping it to your fulfillment center so it can be shipped to your customer is an income producing activity. It's going to make you money. Shipping it to someone else after you created the listing so that they can fulfill it is going to make you money, because then people can buy it once because it's online. And if you're going to send it off to Amazon for FBA, again, it's an income producing activity. So that way, when Amazon checks it in, those sales can start happening. The listing exists, now the shipping, okay? Same thing that if somebody buys something from you and you have to physically ship it yourself, that is an income producing activity, because if you don't ship it, what happens? You have to return the money. You have to issue a refund, okay? So all of that matters. All of that matters. So I think this was 10:15. I can't really remember. And let's say that we're engaging in this for 30 minutes, some type of shipping related activity. I think I got this right. I'm going to go double check. Okay, so we're going to do this Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and we're going to save. So now we have research, listing, shipping. I have $signs on the things that are going to make me money. And then the last part of that is 15 minutes. And so that 15 minutes could be customer service. It could be customer service includes answering questions. It could be returns. It could be any number of things. You have to be able to allot time for that, so that way you can keep your business moving. This does not make you money. You can give it a different color if you want. I'm going to give it this color. And it's going to be 15 minutes. And I'm literally, I think this is 45 for 15 minutes. Okay. So now that I kind of have built a routine, let's go and look and see what next week looks like. Okay, so now, I forgot to put reminders. So I had a reminder on here 10 minutes before, notification 10 minutes before. So if I click on the big work, I don't need a notification about work because I'm already in misery land. But maybe I want a notification for my research and sourcing. So I can stop what I'm doing. You just click on add notification. You can make changes to it, or you can leave it as is. I want to remind myself 10 minutes before I'm supposed to do it. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that so I get the notifications. Same evening routine. Again, if you want a notification, you can turn it on. You can click save, this one and all following. And then if you want to remind yourself of these others, again, I don't know if you have an Apple Watch, and so it can notify you pop up on your Apple Watch, your phone, whatever it is, just turn on the notifications. So you'll know, okay, in 10 minutes, I got to switch. This way, you're doing the things in your business that are going to make you money. You're consistent about it, and you're moving your business forward, okay? So turn on your notifications, and then voila, that's done. Now, what am I doing with Saturday and Sunday? So I have an opportunity, to do more. And I am going to come over here to Saturday, and maybe I get up before the kids get up because I have a routine of getting up at 6:30. So maybe I'll just change that to 7:30, and I'm going to start the process of maybe research and sourcing. Maybe I go out and do shopping, retail arbitrage. Maybe this is the time in which I do reconcile. So I'm going to actually do accounting reconciliation. Okay, I'm actually going to do reconciliation because people don't do that. That is something reconciliation. Oh gosh. Yeah, this is what happens when you can't think. Oh my God. Why can't I spell today? Yeah, all right, fine. So we're just gonna reconcile. I don't know why I can't spell today, but that's okay. And I am going to set aside maybe an hour as your business gets bigger and you're doing more in your business. You may need to schedule at least 2 hours. So I'm going to schedule at least an hour doing reconciliation. Okay. And I'm going to set a reminder on that. And I'm going to make that task orange. Actually, I'll make it peach, whatever this color is. Going to repeat it. And it's every Saturday. And there you go. You can increase it. You can change it. So then maybe I'm going to go out and I'm going to do sourcing outside. Okay, I'm going to go to the stores. So if I'm going out to do sourcing, a lot, 30 minutes there, 30 minutes back, and I'm going to go out and I'm going to shop. So maybe I get everybody up. Let's get going. Let's go out until 12:30, 1 o'clock. So let's go out until, I'll say 1:30. Let's go do some sourcing. So we're going out to the stores. This is a green task. It makes me money. I can set a reminder. I'm going to go out and I'm going to do some product research and I'm going to source in the stores. Oh, I don't think I did the custom. Okay. All right. So it repeats every Saturday. So now every Saturday, I put it on my calendar that I go out. What I need to remember is, do I have baseball on Saturday? Do I have some other kids activity we have to do Saturday mornings? What do I need to do? And then if I'm outsourcing for, 5 hours, which I'm really not sourcing for 5 hours. I'm sourcing for 4 hours because 30 minutes there, 30 minutes back. But I'm sourcing for 4 hours, then I need to have no less than 2 hours of shipping related activities and or listing and shipping. Okay. So I'm going to have some listing. If you're doing Amazon, you're going to list as you go. So you would scan and list so that way it's already in your back office. So we're going to do some listing related activities. You might want to put a buffer in there to get a break if everybody settled. So we'll do a break in here. You can do a bigger break, put a 2-hour break. We're going to do at least an hour's worth of listing at a minimum. Actually, we'll do an hour and a half. Okay, so I'm going to do an hour and a half. And this will be a break in between. And then I'm going to prep this shipment to go to Amazon or wherever, my fulfillment center. So I'm going to do a shipping related activity so I don't have to deal with it. So maybe the stuff that I'm doing during the week is the stuff that I have at the house, and the other stuff, or maybe I am prepping a shipment to go to my fulfillment center every night. I don't know. And then the other stuff is the stuff that you're going to go send off. Okay. So I'm going to do a shipping related activity. All right. So, whoops, shipping is this blue. Okay. Oops. Okay. So now that I have this, what do I do with this? Well, now you can get notifications to kind of remind you of what your schedule is. You can get notifications on your phone. You can pull your calendar up on your phone. You can choose the one that says e-commerce. You have to make sure you display all calendars, and then you can pull the one that you created. You have a visual representation of what you're supposed to be doing. So it could be a reminder of everything that you're supposed to be doing. Okay, so I kind of made this a little smaller. And so it's a visual representation of what my schedule looks like. so I can work on my business. So in this example, we say, okay, I got 10 hours to work on my business. Am I working 10 hours? Well, yes, I am working 10 hours. I'm actually working 10 hours in the evenings, so Monday through Friday. And then I'm doing another 30 minutes during the middle of the day. So that's another 2.5 hours. So that's 12.5 hours. And then on Saturday, I'm actually working for my business from 7:30 until 5 o'clock. And then Sundays, you can leave it to your family or whatever. So then that way you're still working in your business. So you have now added no less than 20 hours to your business operations. So keeping all of that in mind, that's an opportunity for you to be more consistent in your business. Is it going to work out perfectly at the beginning? No, it is not. But over time, what this will do for you is as you get up every morning, you look at your schedule, you walk through your routine, you go to bed, you look at your schedule before you go to bed, or you read it or you write it or whatever, because they say that if you read it, write it, speak it, read it, write it, speak it, read it, write it, speak it. Over time, it will help you to be on autopilot. And if you follow your schedule for anywhere from, some people say 21 days, 28 days, 35 days. I believe that it's at least 60 days because there's things that happen in between. And so there's always a pattern interrupt. There's a break in the pattern. So if you do it 60 days, you keep bringing yourself back to it for 60 days, you'll build more of a routine. It may not be 100% perfect, but you'll be closer to on autopilot than you've ever been by bringing yourself back to what your schedule says you're supposed to be doing. Okay. So I hope this particular exercise was helpful. I hope you'll use it in your business. And we're going to do another next week. We're going to talk about time management and additional things that you can be doing to try and regain your time. Again, this was focused on e-commerce. You literally could apply these principles to other stuff. If you have that you want to work out and you want to lose weight, you can find those time blocks where you can work on losing weight. If you're wanting to, and get healthy, cooking, like you got to dedicate time to cooking, you got to exercise, you got to make sure you're drinking. So these are all things that you can set reminders so that you do those things. You can set those reminders on your phone. Say, oh, I need to make sure that I'm drinking enough water today. Or you want to commit to working on your relationship. So whatever that looks like, whatever needs to happen in that relationship, again, dedicated time to do things to work on the relationship or work on you. Whatever it is you decide you want to work on, or your finances. If you're not organized and you need to get organized in order to get your finances under control, then you set dedicated time to organize your papers and shred papers and whatever you need to do. So again, this method works for whatever it is you're trying to accomplish. So with that being said, I hope that you all will come back next week. I hope that you got value in today. And you can see how you can use Google. You can use the kitchen timers, go to the Dollar Tree and grab one. You can use the timer and the alarms on your phone. You can set an alarm on your phone. And what I was saying before, again, you can go to YouTube and you can pull up So you can pull up focus. If I could just get the F to work. Focus music. So I pull it up all the time, focus music. And there's all kinds of focus music that's out there. Here's a 6-hour one. It's got an ad on it. This one's a 12-hour one, which is crazy. 12 hours of focus music, 9 hours. So this one I was playing before. I kind of like that one. This one's 9 hours, but they have like 3-hour ones. They have 2-hour ones. They have 1-hour ones. So you can look for focus and concentration, study music, and find something you can play in the background. Or, one of my favorites is to just play the song Happy. I know we were getting ready to end this, but I play the song Happy by Pharrell if I want to actually listen to something and I don't watch it. I literally just play it, close the window, and let it play in the background while I work for 1 hour on whatever it is I'm trying to get done. Okay, so he's got the 10-hour version. If you can handle it for 10 hours, that's fine. If you can't, that's okay. But I sing to myself that I'm happy I'm getting money because the activity I'm engaging in is an income producing activity. So I'm okay with listen to the song over and over again. But find your groove. I also have a playlist for Missy Elliott, and I play that because she's one of my favorite artists. So again, find something that you like. My son has clearly been looking at Phineas and Ferb and Blue's Clues. This is so hilarious and it's so random. This is my autistic son, clearly pulling all this other stuff up. But in any case, I hope this was helpful. I hope it's a blessing to your business. Come back next week. Invite somebody to join you on this journey of going through this exercise and activity with us. And I am going to say goodbye for now.